Hi.
Welcome to Stuck, Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff, and my guest today with advice on elevator pitches for startups is Jeff Klein from Speaker Co-op. Thank you for coming, Jeff. How are you today?
I'm glad to be here, Mary. I'm doing great.
So let's start by telling people, what is an elevator pitch?
Sure. There's actually a couple of different versions of the elevator pitch. The one that I've been teaching since 2004 is that 30-second talk you get to do when you're at a Chamber of Commerce meeting or a networking group or a BNI, what have you, where you get up and formally do 30 seconds about who you want to meet and something about your business for the purposes of networking. The other version is when you're actually in an elevator and you only have a limited amount of time to talk to somebody, and the goal for the two different commercials are different. If you're in an elevator, your goal is to get the business card of the person in the elevator with you so you can follow up with them. At a networking group, your main goal is to get a referral out of your 30-second commercial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some people think it's an infomercial and they just tell you everything they can in 30 seconds. And at the end of 30 seconds, you're just going, wow, that was a lot. Thank you.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. I've always had it from you want to get a business card to follow up, no matter where you were.
Right. Well, and the original elevator, the reason it's called the elevator pitch is from IBM. I don't know if you knew that. They taught the IBM salesmen, they told them that they had from the time they got in the elevator till they got to the executive level to do a pitch that would convince their bosses that they were ready to go out and sell.
Well, startups have two very key, often different audiences. One are the people that are going to buy their product or service. The other is venture capital. So right. People invest in their product or service. So you want to talk about what your suggestions are for both of those?
Sure, glad to. For both of them, you need to use a word that I like called pithy, Pithy. You need to be brief. You need to have a lot of information in your brevity, and you need to be clever so people continue to pay attention. For the formal networking commercial, a lot of it is about telling people who you want to meet to partner with to network, because networking is not selling. You know that, Mary. You know that you don't go to a networking group to turn the people into the room into your customers. You're at a networking group so the people in the room will become your advocates and your partners, and vice versa. So that you become their advocate. A big part of it, and I'm sure you've had folks talk about this, is who's your target audience? Who's your target customer? Right. Whose problems do you solve? Because that's who you're ultimately trying to meet, is people you can offer to solve their problems, and there's problem solved in such a way that they will pay you to solve their problems.
So is there a formula?
You bet. Absolutely. I teach a 6-step process where you tell a story. You talk about a problem and a solution, and you include your qualifications. And then you also do a call to action. You actually ask people to write the referral down. And so you're telling people how to deliver what you're asking for. You're not just getting up and saying, I'm looking to meet someone who wants to buy or sell a house. Well, everybody can use what I do. Okay, great. But not everybody will spend the money to use what you do. And not everybody, and a certain group of people are more likely to spend money with you. And a certain group of people are more likely to need what you sell sooner and see a crucial need for it, right? Mm-hmm. The everybody and anybody are two words to not use in marketing or networking.
So do you have some examples of what's a good pitch?
Well, let's create one for you. What's a good referral for you, Mary? Who do you want to meet?
I want to meet startup businesses.
Okay. Anything of any specific, is it service or product? Is it
doesn't matter if it's early stage startups. People
Okay.
who are thinking about starting a business, people who have just started a business, and people who need to know what the next step is.
Okay. Is it important if they can afford to start a business?
That's part of the initial conversation.
Okay. So, what about somebody who is tired of being in a cube and they're ready to go out and be their own boss? Is that a good description
That's
of
a
one of the
good,
folks?
that's another good, yeah, somebody who either wants to or has to start a business for themselves.
Okay. So, how about something like this? You have, and some of what we do when we create these is we make an assumption that people, because we're not going to get 100 referrals when we do a commercial. We want to get a couple, right? So we're in a room full of people, and you could say, you know somebody, or some of you know somebody who keeps getting laid off from corporate jobs.
Mhm.
And it has nothing to do with their skills or their smarts. It's just timing and COVID and all kinds of things like that. But
Mhm.
they are ready to be their own boss and stop being at the mercy of corporate whims and Wall Street's whatever's, how the wind blows. Those people would be a great introduction for me. That friend is somebody I can help talk about how to start a business so they can become their own boss and stop worrying and stop relying on somebody else for their future.
Right.
I've been helping people do this for how long?
Oh, goodness. I've been helping people get resources as startups and just as businesses for over 20 years. I come
Mary
at it by
Scott. Yeah, I'm Mary Scott. Please write the name of that friend you thought of when I told that story on your business card or in the chat so we can arrange an introduction.
Right.
Now, something you might have noticed, I didn't start with your name.
Right.
I teach not to do that.
Right. You want to know who's your audience first.
Well, for a lot of reasons, a lot of places when you're doing 30-second commercials, they actually call your name. If you go to one of these Chamber of Commerce events where 50 or 100 people are doing an elevator pitch, somebody calls Joel Brown, and then he gets up and says, Joel Brown. It's like, no, we just got that information. And you're going to get the cowbell at 30 seconds. So don't waste time with information we already have or don't need yet.
Right.
I tell people to do their name second to last, not last.
Right.
Because we don't, the most important thing is that introduction, that referral. So just like every other form of advertising, your 30-second elevator pitch, which is also called a commercial, should end with the call to action. Please write your friend's name down on a referral slip, on a business card, in the chat, so we can arrange an introduction.
It would be a lot of someone who wants to start a business or has been downsized too many times, so they need to start a business for themselves. So I'm Mary Scott. Can you please write that person's name on the back of a business card and send them to me?
Yeah. And then you arrange an email. Then you send that person whose card you have an email to get the introduction.
Right. Okay. That's great advice. Is there something specific, something a little different that startups can use when they're talking to venture capital?
Well, that's where you really need to let them know some data. Yeah, they're 75% of stay-at-home moms say they wish they had this, or the 10,000 names were identity stolen, and we have a product to help keep that from happening. Or I think with the venture capital, you want to give them a why they will make money kind of statement, where the money is, and we're looking for qualified investors to make a presentation to,
right,
not to fund our business.
So it's often what's in it for them.
Absolutely.
So it would make sense to some extent at the end of your own elevator pitch to point out that, and I'm here to help you too. So if you tell me who you need, I'm in a better position to refer you. Okay, so Jeff Klein, give me your elevator pitch.
Sure. Business coaches have a vested interest in helping their clients succeed. I can help their clients with their networking piece of their business to help them get more prospects. I have clients who need coaches. Coaches have clients who need my help with their networking. I have been teaching the elevator pitch since 2004. My name is Jeff Klein. Please write the name of a business coach you know in the chat or in an email, and we can set up an introduction.
Now, did you say something about you have an offer?
I do. I have a class, a regular class. It's 2 hours to craft a new elevator pitch. And I've been teaching that class since about 2005. And in 2 hours, we do what I did with you here to ask questions and help people write their own commercial. And we also spend time talking about who to ask to meet and who your referral partners are. And then we spend most of the time actually workshopping new commercials. And at the end, you come away with new commercials and the tools to write more. And I'm offering your viewers a $150 discount on the class.
Wow, thank you very much. That's such a deal. Thank you again, Jeff Klein from Speaker Co-op.
You're so welcome, Mary. Thank you.
And join us next time for Stuck, Time to Improv.